Welcome to another Quantum Conversation. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. Welcome, 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 beautiful hearts. Thank you so much for joining us. We are on this magical, powerful day of 888, the Lion's Gate. And we have a very special episode with Grace Galzagorry. She is an energy healer, and she is so tuned into the Divine Mother's love and the feminine Christ consciousness. We are here to learn about her connection to the felines and how this has assisted and enhanced her energy healing. Hi, Grace. Thank you for being here. Welcome.
Thank you, Loren. It's so wonderful to be back here again, and especially on this day. I just feel really honored to really be here with the felines and with all of nature and with you. And I mean, your beautiful background. And yeah, it's really a wonderful experience. Thank you.
And I love the water background that you have. And together, this is just our envelopment by Gaia as we really truly honor Gaia and the felines as well on this powerful day. So here we are. We're talking about our luminous body emerging. That's beautiful. And so the 8-8 Lion's Gate, it's the feline energy. Can you give us a little history of why this date is so powerful and how you discovered that you were a feline?
Um, For me, I mean, I never would have thought that I would be saying what I'm saying today, but it all unfolded as my healing continued to unfold. And so today is when the star Sirius, which the Egyptians honored, and the Egyptians certainly honored the felines as sacred. They recognize the star Sirius, which I really see as the divine feminine, and it rises along with the sun, which is the masculine, and the two of them rising was something that started the River Nile, or the flow of the River Nile, and the abundance, the fertility that is really that of the mother. And so today is sort of the peak of that. And it certainly speaks to our life lessons and our very deep connection to the earth, and how our bodies are a part of the earth body, not separate from, but in the way the felines experience it as a gnostic connection, as a somatic connection, a visceral connection to that. It's not just the earth, it's really the cosmos. All of it is a part of our bodies, and we have come to deny our bodies and separate and disconnect from that. So in my healing journey, I went deeper and deeper and deeper. I could have never given you this, and what I share is the wisdom that rose from my body's unfoldment. But as I went deeper, I went from this life, which had a lot of trauma, and several years of clearing that trauma, then started to move into past lives, and just kept following the spirals down deeper and deeper. I went through all the Christ lives that I'd led and huge traumas that had happened. And progressively, my consciousness was expanding, and I was becoming part of the collective, and I could feel the collective's trauma and then the earth's trauma, and all that started to be part of the healing. Well, I had no idea about the evolution of humans, and then it started to come through in my healing work, which is very real. It's not something I'm studying about. Suddenly one day when I went into my body and consciously became aware of my body, which I do every day in my healing work, I realized that I was in the body of a feline, and that she was a white, sort of short-haired, almost champagne-colored feline, and she was pretty big, like about waist level. And I recognized, I mean, it was the first time that it happened, although I had at one point become an elephant and at one point become a whale. And I started to realize that these were part of parallel lives that our oversoul is leading, and that those parallel lives are also available to us in a sense as we evolve into our multidimensionality. And so I could feel the feline, I could feel the whiskers on my face. It felt like my whole body became the feline, and I could feel how the wind rippling over my skin, like I could feel it was like antennas off of my skin, the way the felines experience this in a very somatic way. It wasn't obviously a mental way. In fact, the best thing we can do is get the mind out of the way. And eventually that happened several times, and I could see that I was healing not only the experiences of my feline on Earth, but I started to see myself in the court of Isis. And I could see the feline had that I was a feline goddess. And I could see that I was in the front court with her, and that she had her throne sat here, and that I had a particular spot to the right of Isis. And the stone had an indentation, a circular indentation. That was obvious to me that that's where I sat. And and I didn't just sit. I would sometimes come and just curl up and lie down. But in that, I started to experience what it meant to be in telepathic communion with Isis, but also with the whole feline race, and how it felt, how I could feel that Isis was really an oracle for the earth, and that she could feel what was going on with me, and that there was a way every once in a while she'd pat me when I'd be walking by, but most of the time we communicated in a very deep, visceral way in our hearts, and in this telepathic communion is the best way I can put it. And she knew, for example, if there all these people would come and present their case in a way in front of her, and there was just times where I was just bored silly. I mean, that's the best way I could put it in feline feeling. And so I would just get up and stroll out. That wasn't uncommon. Like, you feel like the felines who were sacred and would do what they wanted, but she would always notice. I could feel it in her being, like, notice this person is full of it. This is so boring. The felines leaving. I mean, it was like, there was all this knowing that we didn't have to talk. We just knew, like, we just knew. And it was a universal connection and knowing. And so then subsequently, that connection with the felines started to come into my classes, so that when the felines were really present in my classes, she would come forth, and I could see that in another kingdom somewhere, she was sitting on a throne, and she was teaching this huge auditorium full of all these different felines. I mean, it was very interesting, but however that teaching was going on obviously wasn't words. But when she comes into my healing work now, I can see that the felines are very committed to overcoming people's lineages, helping people to move through where there's been a connection to the dark side, and also the way the dark forces have sort of enslaved humanity through viral infections and through cancer. And in those particular cases, when I'm doing healing work, it's not something I think about. It just happens through my greater being, that the feline comes in and she sort of takes center stage, and she roars, and the lions come in, and then they encircle whatever the issue is with so much love that it frees and dissolves a lot of the enslavement of the humans that have been trapped, in a sense. And oftentimes it's enclaves in the earth. Oh my God, it's so amazing. Like, I don't feel like I'm doing it. I just watch this, and I sob at the love. The love is just so pure, and they just hold so solid. Love is all there is. And then it encircles whatever the issue is, or in particular with cancer, they're really working to eradicate the belief systems that cause that victimization belief that's caused even the appearance of cancer on this planet. So there's deep enslavement, that the felines are doing that work all the time behind the scenes. And so I'm just blessed to have this soul aspect, this beloved, this beautiful feline that comes in. She's so beautiful and graceful, and she just knows what's, and the lions are ready to serve whatever she says. They're just waiting.
That is so fascinating and brilliant. And it's so wonderful to hear how you remember that, and you sense that, and it's all you, and you are being supported. Your healing work is being supported by the felines. Do you have a name for her?
Not really. I've
Okay.
debated a few different ones, but mostly, even this morning in my healing, she was just sitting front and center inside of me, sitting, and I can feel her as my spine, and she just looks so calm, placid. You know how cats do. There's no like she doesn't get ruffled, but she's so committed. But I don't have a name for her.
Okay, well, you do radiate that essence as well. I mean, we can look at you, Grace, here, sitting here today on Zoom and see you are reminiscent of a white lion. Yes, we can see it. It's beautiful. Well,
Thank
that's
you, Lauren.
fascinating. And we're so honored then to be here in today's show. We're going to be working with the Feminine Christ Vortex of Love. And this is how you do your healing work. And it's amazing that you have this incredible support from the felines and so many other higher guides that you work with. So thank you for sharing that story of how the feline has emerged within you on this very special day. So as we're talking about our luminous body emerging, luminous body, can you give us a definition of that? Is that our light body? How do you define that?
Well, I see it. It is a light body that's within us. It's within our DNA. It's part of our divine design, which the felines also participated in at the very beginning of humanity as we evolved. And it's crystalline. I see it as a crystalline shape that underlies the this essence of ourselves, but it's within every single cell of our being that we have this deep knowing and wisdom and ancient connection to the whole. And it's also obviously connected to the universe. And like we think our bodies are this physical matrix, which they are, but they are so much bigger than that in vibrationally, which is the feminine of that we are part of all of it. So our matrix is most condensed in a sense where we have a physical body, but it continues as I think a lot of Eastern healing modalities have shown us the greater energy body, but I see it going way beyond that in that we are one with all of it, and it's not as a cerebral context, but as really a felt experience, like that we can literally feel what it is to be, for example, trees. And I mean, recently I've been feeling the burning trees in the Western United States, Canada. I can feel what that feels like because I am that. It is a felt experience. It isn't a something I'm thinking about that we're all one and all the things we talk about. It is something I'm very aware of. And so sometimes I least expect it. I'll feel like I'm being hit by something, and it is some energetic that's happening on the planet. And it requires my attention to try to help uh, calm it down, transmute, etc.
Okay, well, we are looking forward to a transmission with you today. And it's really amazing to witness you at work. And you literally are spinning a vortex. Is that accurate? There, you literally are. Share with us a little bit about that healing work that you do with the Feminine Christ Vortex.
Well, just as I have a feline soul aspect, that's the best way I can express it. In my crystalline transition, which is a rather lengthy transition, I became aware of at the in my sacrum that I had 12 soul aspects. That's what I call them, and that each one of those is leading a parallel life. So my feline is one of those that's leading a parallel life, but it's not separate from me. I can access that wisdom, that information, that knowledge, as well as part of my role here is to heal the feline trauma of the demise of the felines in Egypt. And so I help all individuals who were part of that and remember that. But a part of my soul, another soul aspect, is the grace aspect that was a part of the Christ consciousness and part of the Jesus Magdalene grouping and the Cathar grouping later. So those are different parts of my soul, and my oversoul is a much bigger part of that. So I came to discover all this through the healing work I did, which is actually accessible to everyone by lifting and clearing old trauma. The body remembers its divine origin or design organically. Isn't something, I mean, I think we effort a lot from the outside, and I'm saying allow the emergence from the inside, because it is all within us. And it's not that we can't use guides and access some assistance at times, but it is really about continuing to open, which we're not familiar with, because we're accustomed to allowing outer authority tell us who and what we are, rather than that we really trust, have total faith in our inner authority, in a sense, our inner self, our inner wisdom. So as I unfolded layer upon layer upon layer of the trauma, all this sort of wisdom, is the best way I can put it, started to come forth, and I started to value the intellectual and the stuff I was reading less and less and less, because this was just so much richer in present moment and so fulfilling, shall we say, compared to what I was doing. And I have nothing against any of that, but I realized it is a journey, and as we get into our own sovereignty, we don't really need to be fed, because the universe is feeding us from within all the information we need all the time. So it just started to unfold organically. And as I said, the healing the trauma started to just open what my body already knew. And we think of healing as fixing some physical problem, when in fact healing is an evolutionary journey that lifts and clears the blocks we have, so we can't recognize who we are until those blocks are cleared. And that's what I discovered. When the blocks are cleared, we are all one, and our health is really the flow of life through us. That's really love, life, vitality, love are the same thing that's flowing through our body. That's flowing so clearly as soon as we remove the blocks in our belief systems that were centered around traumas that keep us in fear and keep us small, instead of being able to expand into the fullness of who we are, and giving ourselves permission for that emergence. And the deeper you go, like I said, I went into past life, past life, past life, and then I started doing healing on others, individual healing. And interestingly, every time someone came in, they were a part of my evolution. I mean, there was no separation. They were not just someone who came in to me for healing. We were doing a sort of a group healing. And then the body became more and more a field of consciousness. And I realized that any healing I was doing was also clearing the lineage, and then the collective issues that had happened around that. And eventually I realized the earth also holds everything that's ever happened on this planet. So then then that became part of it. It just happened organically. And then it became that I was healing the relationship between the earth, which is out of balance, and the stars and the moon and the sun, and that all of that started to come in and become, I know it's mind blowing, but I don't know how I do it. It just comes through my being, and I understand what I've given to do, and then I understand something more about divine mind and divine design and who we truly are.
Wow, it's really fascinating. And so that's what awaits us when we clear all those blocks and belief systems. And so I've heard some say, I have no more belief systems. And so when we really believe, when we really feel into that, it's like, wow, really? You have no belief systems. Where do you think you are in that? How do you recognize a belief system when it comes up in for you? And what do you do? How do you allow this wisdom from the universe from within to come up and remove that belief system, or adjust that belief system, eliminate that belief system, so that you can allow that the trust to come through that wisdom? Because I guess if there's that belief system, we're never going to trust the wisdom that comes forth. So I
Yes.
mean, that makes sense how that works. What do you do? Do you still have belief systems that come up?
Well, when you say do you,
You, Grace, yes.
I know it's a little hard for me to answer that question because I don't, I'm not an individuated entity in that regard. And so do I, as the collective field that I am, yes, I do. But I don't know that I don't know how to separate myself from being part of the collective. And most of my healing now is healing the collective in the earth's belief, things that are held in that larger being that I am. I mean, it's like the semantics sort of get in the way because I mean, I am clearing belief systems, but they're not necessarily mine individually. I don't know what I even feel or believe about things until it arises in the moment. And I think, oh, I can feel what sort of the truth is or the wisdom of any given moment, but I'm not sure that I approach it with a particular mindset, but I'm very aware that there are mindsets in the field, shall we say. There are belief systems in the field. So when you say belief systems, it is absolutely true that the process of unloading, releasing the belief systems that we've been programmed with versus the greater truth. It's really not belief systems anymore. The greater truth of this omniverse is a process, and that actually it is a journey of faith that we would continue because it is a huge challenge to believe that what you're given inside is the truth when everything outside of you is saying that's not the way it is. This is the way it is. I mean, oh, you're such a Pollyanna. Oh, how can you believe in that? Oh, you're being so unrealistic. Oh, you're just not grounded. You're not being responsible. And in a certain kind of way, I was really blessed because that journey happened through my body. So I had to firmly believe that something was healed when I saw the final seal inside of me and hang on to that, even though everything told me that you can't possibly heal that or you can't possibly have that experience for yourself. And sometimes that meant holding on to what I had seen in my healing for days, weeks, and even months, and knowing it was done, even though it takes a while for it to come true all the way through the physicality until it was complete.
Wow. All right. It's remarkable. And so, for those who are not familiar with your backstory, you had an interesting healing. I don't know if it would be a crisis, but what did you heal yourself from? Can you share that with us? Because it's a mental, it's not a mental illness, but it's overcoming that, as you were saying, trusting that what you know is done and healed took a while to show up in the outer reality. Can you share that with us? And then we'll do a transmission with you. Yes.
I think, well, I think it is a genetic autoimmune disease, which was, I mean, severe autoimmune disease that was very crippling. So I developed neuropathy and really crippling back pain and wasted. I mean, I literally dropped about 30 pounds and I kept getting worked up for cancer because there was changes in my bone marrow. It was really an immune system issue. And so for years, I was very crippled and developed infection after infection after infection of every kind, including shingles multiple times. It was horrifically painful, and it certainly led me to surrender over and over and over a period of 10 or 12 years when I was very disabled and really giving up and really weak. And it really taught me to receive and to trust and to trust and to keep trusting. And one of the challenges, just to give you an example, that happened was that I had infection after infection, I mean, severe infections that some of them were life-threatening. And I was a nurse practitioner. I'm a nurse practitioner by trade. So I have a lot of conditioning about how you have to have antibiotics for whatever the situation is, et cetera. And it became more and more apparent that I couldn't take antibiotics because I had gone through the whole list and I would develop severe reactions. And I was panicking, terrified. What am I going to do? There's no more antibiotics I can take. And then I would have a horrible lung infection, pneumonia, or a sinus infection. And then I discovered that I had to have absolute faith that what I was doing was healing it, that it would be healed. And so I would just do a session or two and then just believe, because I would see in the healing, this is complete. I could see the crystalline unfoldment coming in. This happened over and over with tooth infection. I mean, with the shingles, horrible things that were, I almost lost my eye because of shingles in my eye. And the final transformation, I saw the crystalline coming in. And as soon as that was done, I knew inside, I heard it is complete. I knew I had already broken through into the crystalline DNA, but I didn't, there was a lot of belief systems, speaking of it, a lot of things I had to keep breaking through for the following days to allow that healing to emerge all the way through. And that's really how it is with the luminous body, not only to allow, but to trust it and not panic. And so that was a progressive journey of going through multiple infections until I realized that the universe had designed for me to be allergic to the antibiotics and the antivirals, and that it gave me the opportunity to learn that I had that within me to heal that without external crutches or tools, etc., that I was able to do that. I wouldn't have known that, Lorenz. So I'm not saying I'm a great hero or anything, but I discovered I had to do it, or it was that or death. I mean, it was like I couldn't, the antibiotics literally sent me to the ER. I had dramatic anaphylactic reactions, had to stop them.
It's just a remarkable journey that's inspiring because, given you faced with the medical diagnoses and not feeling good, that's where the mental, but you trusted that inner voice within you and you activated that crystalline DNA and you knew that that was powerful work that you were doing for yourself. And so that gives hope for all of us. And
That's right.
so, for what would we say to folks who, family members that we may know, or friends and loved ones that are going through something similar? They have to be open for this sort of healing. But what would you say? How would we advise? Do we just say, are you open to exploring this? Are you open to or other ways? I guess I'm kind of talking generally because I know some people that I would mention that to would say, no, 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 I've got this, never mind. So we kind of have to let that go, right? And just kind of present an opportunity for them to be inspired by stories of healing rather than, like we say, we can lead a horse to water, but we can't make it drink. So as light workers, we can simply share information and inspiring wisdom that gives them hope for it. So, what would you say to something like that?
Well, I think, like you're saying, one of the beautiful things I got to tell you about the body is the immediacy of the body. And the reality is, when you're uncomfortable and in desperation is the mother of all inventions. When you're desperate, you would be willing potentially to drop some of your beliefs and to be open to something else, which is, I think, the purpose of a lot of our physical challenges, honestly, because we get to the point, and in particular, it's no accident we have so much chronic illness now that there's really no solutions for, but they can be acutely uncomfortable. I mean, mine were life-threatening many times, but it's so important, I think, to let people go through their process because they will come to it. And I think it doesn't stop us from addressing it, but not like trying to control or dominate their process. Whatever works for you, here's what worked for me. End of story. Very simple. And I also think that we have a concept of healing that is completely erroneous and born of patriarchal roots, that healing is a physical outcome and that it's linear. So we think, oh, I've got, let's say this toothache, just give me some pills. I mean, I did this as a nurse practitioner, so I know exactly what I'm talking about over and over. Just give me some pills, give me some, fix it. Take the surgery, cut it out. I don't want to be bothered with it. And the truth is that the body has tremendous wisdom, and it reveals it in cycles and in spirals. And if we're willing, and we're not conditioned this way. So we want immediate results and we want to get back to our life, when in fact, any kind of health crisis is saying, stop, stop, stop. Take a look at how you are in terms of loving yourself, how you are treating yourself as a divine being, how you are being in your relationships, and how you are being in your approach to life. Take a stop and take a moment to shift our behaviors. See, the healing doesn't just about, oh, let me patch that up and you go right back to running your body into the ground. Healing is saying you need to develop a new relationship with your body and develop respect for your body as a sacred entity, as a field of consciousness, as the field of the mother, as the felines know it, that of knowing that oneness is there, and that we are, in many ways, really arrogant in our approach to the body, like thinking, oh, just fix that, cut it out, give it this medicine, and we want to be fixed tomorrow so I can go back to running myself into the ground, or running around, not respecting and honoring that which we've been given, which is a temple. It's a sacred temple. So I try to explain that to people too, that healing is really cycles, it's a journey, and it takes us deeper. It's about the acquisition of wisdom and the evolution of consciousness. It's not just about a physical outcome. You know what I'm saying? It's about balance, about wholeness. It's about coming into wholeness. Whether it's depression, whether it's anxiety, same thing. It is about opening deeper and deeper into the great wisdom that resides within ourselves, and into love, because we have that within us. That is our divine blueprint to heal ourselves.
Yes, thank you for saying that and sharing that. It's again very inspiring, and it gives us light workers nice ways to share with our loved ones as well. It really illustrates the consciousness that is needed, self love that is needed, this wholeness that you talk about. It really is exquisite. And so, yes, it's a new relationship with our body, with our consciousness, with who we are, and treating ourselves with great, great, great love more than anyone
Yes.
else. Yes,
And
okay.
respecting our bodies in that way, loving our bodies in that way. And
Yes.
instead of judging and rejecting and dismissing our body's symptoms, honoring that, opening to that, embracing what the feeling is, embracing what's coming up. And I know this sounds like perhaps a lot of work, but it is actually a part of coming into balance with the whole universe. I mean, we all want to love the earth, love Mother Earth, which is beautiful, but it actually comes through our own connection and relationship with our body, with our own self, that ultimately spirals out into relationships with others, with our planet, with the trees, with the plants, with it isn't separate. I think our way of thinking is that we're here and, oh, I love the earth. I love the earth so much. Like, no, love yourself that much and recognize that you are that earth.
Yes. Well said. So beautiful. That is worthy of a sticky note for those who are keeping sticky notes. Okay, so this transmission, let's head into a transmission today in that beautiful vortex of love that you create and open. And what should we do for this? How should we receive this? Is there any suggestions on that before we start?
I would just say for everyone to set an intention for perhaps greater flow in some area in your body or in your life or in your relationships that you would like healing in, that you are needing healing, or that you would like some healing. And then and then surrender, then allow what's emerging, because sometimes they, oh, but healing would look like this. You don't know that. You need to open, because it may be that something's happening in your relationship that is something's happening in your body, and your relationships are reflecting something back to you, and you're thinking it's just your body and you need to do blah blah. It may be you need to embrace something in your relationships, and then your body will heal because it's then balanced, because then you're in balance. You know what I'm saying? So I would just say set an intention and then surrender what emerges during this healing, because it will reveal what's your next and your next. It doesn't mean I'm going to give you the outcome. I'm going to give you what's your next and your next, and allow some opening so that you can see some of your own solutions.
That is so powerful. Very good. Okay, then. Thank you, Grace. We are looking forward to this. Everyone set your intention and we'll get started.
Well, let's just take a minute and let everyone set an intention, and then I will lead us maybe about 15 minutes. Is that good, Red?
Perfect. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Always the intention is about balance or flow, greater balance. That's what we're looking for in our lives and in our bodies. Okay. I'm going to ask everyone to close your eyes for a moment. Start taking really gentle and deep breaths into the heart. Opening the throat here, allowing the beautiful spirals of opening the heart, and gently dropping in and following those spirals. Opening the crown, there's beautiful crystalline sparkles coming in, and just opening and receiving these beautiful sparkly crystalline fragments are just dropping in and flowing down the spine and into the heart, releasing any concepts, any ideas, any beliefs about healing. Just being willing to be in this present moment. And with each breath, softening and allowing even more deeply. This essence of love. Inviting the felines to enter your heart, to awaken in your heart. Just allowing the possibility of knowing the tremendous love, care, compassion, the gentleness, and the ferocity of the felines. Opening your heart to the courage to be the fullness of your own being. Sparkling, crystalline fragments and sparks to just wake up, light up the crystalline within your own heart. Noticing the beautiful colors. The rainbows just moving through softly, gently in the heart. Following this spiral down the spine and noticing this beautiful love, this gentleness, this presence, this courage of the felines moving down the spine and lending greater energy, greater strength to your own spine, to stand in the courage of love, of your truth, of your sovereignty, and noticing that as you acknowledge, with each breath, open your spine even more deeply. This beautiful, soft, and pink energy in the periphery of the whole spine starts to light up as it gently unfolds and enfolds a deeper innocence and purity that's emerging from the very center of your spine. And by your focus and your intention, just allowing this beautiful stream of energy in the very center of your spine, the pure white energy of your connection to the all, of your truth, be given permission to emerge, simply unfold. And just in this unfoldment, allowing any beliefs, any thoughts, any limitations to just be in the space without needing to fix or control or change any of it. And then bringing your awareness into the womb, into your lower pelvis, allowing the swirling and beautiful energy, the bright white light in the middle, as well as all the swirling energies that surround that, like puffy clouds, just whirling around and clearing and purifying, dissolving all that blocks you from this beautiful flow of who you truly are. Allowing this energy to move through your hips, your low back, and just bathe your back, your hips with the softness of this divine essence and purity, the groundedness of the felines. And now bring one of your favorite trees, any tree that you love. Just calling on that tree to be in your space right now. Bowing to its beauty and its grace and its wisdom. And asking permission to merge with that tree, so that you may know oneness, purity, health, flow, balance, the ancient wisdom, the felines, the trees of nature, and stepping in and merging with that tree, and feeling immediately this beautiful stream of bright white light that runs within the tree, that runs within the essence of the tree, and also through your own spine, really melting into this oneness of union, purpose, love, forgiveness, compassion, just the all-knowingness of this tree. Allowing yourself to really feel this in all of your body. What it feels like to be held in this eternal love. Just melting, dissolving your body that's uncomfortable right now, just allowing and really focusing on bringing this love, this gentleness, this tenderness, and great, great compassion to this part of your body, and allowing this beautiful, gentle energy to just swirl through and clear and dissolve the blocks that you haven't been able to see. Feeling the tree's love and care with you, feeling the courage, the presence of the felines, their eternal wisdom, their knowing that love is all there is, completely enveloping, completely enfolding, and caressing the discordance, the discomfort in the body. Knowing it's a misunderstanding, and knowing that there is a deeper essence, this pure white light, that is the truth of your eternal being. And then dropping in your pelvis, just noticing the roots of the tree and following those roots now. The tree invites you to know oneness, truly know oneness with Mother Earth and with the greater flow of love, of essence, of vitality, of life force. So following those roots through your legs, through your knees, through your feet, really feeling the tree's guidance, the tree's wisdom, teaching you what it really means to be grounded and rooted in Mother Earth. Feeling your whole pelvis, your whole lower body really connecting in through the roots of the tree. Feeling your own roots expanding as you merge with this beautiful tree. So kindly, so generously sharing her wisdom with you. And feeling how those roots are enveloped and welcomed and joyously embraced in Mother Earth, in the soil, in the beautiful and nurturing exchange with the soil and the sacred crystalline waters of Mother Earth. And feeling how easily you digest and receive this beautiful nurturance, the infinite love, the infinite compassion, and the infinite grace of Mother Earth. Just allowing yourself to just be bathed here and held and nurtured for a few moments, and becoming aware through these roots of all the roots of trees on the whole planet, and how easily this tree knows and acknowledges and honors all roots of trees. Just feeling yourself expanding into recognizing and embracing the trees, sending your love, your gratitude to many, many trees, and feeling at once the beautiful love and nurturance returning to embrace you, and feeling how that life, that vitality just surges through you, just pouring into your body, instinctively knowing exactly where it needs to go to bring about greater wholeness within your own being. And now melting and dissolving even more into this grand oneness with Mother Earth, and we call in the star Sirius and our beloved Sun to bring in the masculine, the feminine, the Christ consciousness, the knowing of ourselves as love. and to amplify that as a fountain just moving up and through your body, all the way up the heart line, this beautiful golden flow of Christ consciousness, of love, of wholeness, of health, of vitality, completely embracing and filling all those places that have felt lack and limitation with the abundance, the fertility of the mother's love, and feeling at one with the whole universe in this knowing, in this deep gnosis. We bow to this beautiful universal design and to our own part in that, recognizing, honoring with great compassion, love, our own being, and in this generosity extending forgiveness for all the ways in which we have forgotten who we are and what our bodies are here to teach us and be. And gently, gently, ever so gently, we hold our bodies in tender love and gratefully we bow, simultaneously bowing to the tree, to all trees, to all of nature, for giving us this wonderful opportunity, this wonderful landscape in which to evolve, to grow, to learn more about the truth of who we are as love, giving us every opportunity to learn faith and to expand into love, into oneness, into union with the whole, from this deep crucible of our bodies, our embodiment. We bow, we give thanks, and gently and slowly bring ourselves back into our bodies as we know ourselves, noticing the contours of our body, feeling the softness, the allowance, the permission to be even more, allowing the flow of these beautiful crystalline energies of the rainbow light and the purity of our luminous body, all dancing in union and communion with the all. And softly bringing ourselves back and opening our eyes when we're ready. Just being very compassionate with ourselves, very gentle with all that's unfolded. And so it is.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I know that the experience there will continue to unfold for each of us in our own unique way. That was really wonderful. I felt such oneness with everything in that, and deep, deep peace. And it was very interesting as we were picking a tree. I had many trees, but then I did narrow it down to one tree. I think I kind of moved into several trees, though. It was very, very interesting, and I love that. I really do love that, and now I know why. Well, for me in particular, I love trees so much, and so I see them as beautiful beings of Gaia's energy, and so to feel that within our body in that way was really wonderful and very healing. We have shifted. Thank you, Grace.
You're so welcome.
We have comments coming in from our beautiful audience. Barbara says that was so exquisite. Exquisite is a beautiful word. Thank you.
I think it's just really, and in particular today, because the feline influence is so powerful. Just the moment I woke up this morning, I could feel the trees speaking to me, my plants in my garden speaking to me, and they really, I could feel such an aliveness, and I felt like, wow, this is an amazing world we live in.
Yes, and I don't want to get off track here, but I just wanted to say that, or share that where I am in this part of the world, the trees literally create clouds. The trees literally exhale the weather. It's really remarkable. And so I just share that because there's just a deep, it's confirming my deep love and actually the need to share the wisdom about trees and the importance of trees and how they are very important for our planet and for us. And so, you know, as you said that you could feel with fires and the trees from the fires, I could also feel if a tree dies, that somehow there's still going to be a part of that tree that's still with us on this planet, whether it's used for a bench or furniture or even paper or maybe just mulch for the new vegetation that grows up from it. Um, that has helped me heal frustration, sadness, despair when trees are cut down. So I feel refreshed from that. Thank you. Isn't that interesting? For me, that's what it was. It was this sadness about trees. All right.
Yeah, the trees that are burning right now, there's so many trees burning that I was literally having trouble breathing quite a few days. Like I feel the burning in my sinuses, in my lungs of the trees and the grief and the loss, and yet every one of those trees is a conscious being that's here really to awaken and to awaken humanity and a way for us to wake up. Everything that is about love is really here also in service, and that's part of what we are as well, but we don't always realize that.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Very well said. All right. Beautiful comments coming in. I want to share a few. Mother Gaia is raining so much love here on the East Coast. Beautiful. Thank you, Lori. Trees are magnificent, divine beings from Barbara. Thank you. Merlin says, I felt my heart was going to explode at one point. So very powerful. Feeling sparkle sensations. My heart is still thumping. Beautiful. Thank you. Awesome. And Merlin also says, trees are the standing ones on this planet. Yes, yes, yes. To feel the tree through my body and the roots, that again, that's why I went to several trees that I love. And I felt all of them, and I named them too, like Pete and Eloise and Priscilla. They were all my trees. Okay.
And also, I
Well,
think what's important is to love and appreciation. Like my plants just thrive because I send them so much love and appreciation that and then they give it back, and it just becomes this beautiful exchange. But they're literally vibrating love because they feel seen, appreciated, just like we do. We thrive when people see us and acknowledge who we are, and the tree and the plants are exactly the same. You know, the more we acknowledge their beauty, the more they also shine and acknowledge our beauty in a sense, because we start to see our luminous body through that reflection. But we can't do that if we are just not appreciating, not opening our hearts to what's all around us.
beautiful. Thank you so much. That was exquisite today. I'll use that word from our beautiful audience. And I just am so grateful for this experience on the Lion's Gate with the felines and the sensation that you led us through. Really, really wonderful. Thank you. Great. We
You.
hope everyone is enjoying this. We invite you to go back and listen again. If the music was a little loud, it was all in divine order.
I
It
did
was a,
turn it down at one point, but
yeah,
I
and it
understand
was
because I get so deep that sometimes my voice isn't transmitting. I mean, isn't carrying as well. I
we
work on that.
still we still felt the energy, and for me I almost fell asleep. That's how relaxed I was. You shifted our brain waves with that, so it's really wonderful.
That's
So
good.
come back and listen to this again if you would like, everyone, and continue to expand in this way and to feel through your luminous body in this way, in connection with Gaia. It's so beautiful. Grace, thank you, thank you, thank you for this Lionsgate transmission and healing session. It was really wonderful. And I want to have a quick moment where you can share on ways that people can work with you. There's a couple things here on the link on the page that got everyone to this web page or this event. There is a special offer, and this is another beautiful way that people can work with you. We've got the Liberation of Self Love. That's a beautiful program. But then every year you do a winter solstice, Christmas celebration of love, a feminine Christ healing circle. Now, I can't believe we're talking about Christmas, but it will be here before we know it. And I just want to give you a moment to talk about these two wonderful programs that are coming up. Thank you.
Well, I love the solstice. It actually was the experience between Christmas and the solstice was when I had most of my major spiritual transitions because it's like the earth comes in to support our transformation in many ways. But I also, so I do a healing circle, and in the healing circle, as soon as you sign up for a healing circle, I start to do healing work. Your field comes into alignment, in a sense, with my field, and those things that are in blocking you from seeing the greater wholeness of who you are. I just start clearing those because I do daily healing work. And then also, the self love is so essential. This is not something we can bypass, but I teach it at the deepest levels of the relationship because it all comes down to relationship, the relationship between the masculine and feminine elements of ourselves, that masculine feminine balance that's reflected throughout the cosmos, in our bodies and in our relationship with ourselves, to really emphasize that there's so much we can do, we can be doing about changing the way we relate to ourselves. And that's really what healing ultimately is. So I teach self love every year because it's actually a very popular course, and I do a huge amount of healing in the background, depending on what the group field is asking for in terms of healing. And I also do individual work with people throughout the whole class. And so people who have been stuck in their journey of self-love, this is a way of really getting some help with the unconscious blocks where we haven't been opening to able to open, able to see ourselves in the divine light. Anyway, I really help people with that. And I also encourage people, if you're interested in individual trauma healing sessions, to go to my website, and there's individual healing practitioners who are also very good. If you feel like you need some individual work, they're just wonderful. So I encourage you to do that as well.
Thank you for this beautiful program today and the beautiful ways that people can work with you and surrender to this beautiful opportunity of self love. I want to share a few more comments from our YouTube channel. I hope people appreciate how beautiful and loving this is. Thank you so much. Also, chills and gentle movements in the body. That's interesting. That was amazing and beautiful, very powerful, and loved it. Moved me greatly with such love and deep peace. It was glorious. Holy,
Oh,
holy blessings to all, sending unconditional love, sending divine love, sending agape love to all. Beautiful. And then I love when the trees dance with joy individually or when they are in groups. Yes, honoring the trees and saving the trees. And that comment right there, thank you for sharing that, reminds me of the roots. And I journeyed so far into the earth with the roots in today's session that I saw how they're all holding hands underneath and we're all connected.
That's
Even
right.
other continents are connected through the
Yes,
trees.
yes, they are.
Wow. 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 Beautiful.
That's
And I
the
love that.
vibrational connection, interconnectivity that we have. And we think it's just all physical, but it's so much more than that. It's so much more than that. Absolutely. Thank you for saying that because that interconnectivity, it's true. We can feel what's going on in other continents through that deep grounding into the earth.
So go hug a tree and see how far you can go.
This is the gift
Or,
of the felines to be that connected, really.
wow. So beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank
Today
you.
was magnificent. As we say goodbye, Grace, I want to give you a moment maybe to share any final thoughts, maybe from the felines or on this powerful 888 day. Any final thoughts?
Well, I think that the main, I'm just feeling the feline saying, leave your mind aside and let the wisdom of your body and our transmission right now, our presence this day, bring forth your own connection with the trees, with the plants, with the stones, with the bees, the insects. Feel and a feeling level, and I can feel that vibration in the womb, just like wake up the lower body, this rooted connection with everything. So today there's a special gift afoot because of the alignment of 888 and the felines. So I just would encourage everyone, they're asking me to ask you to encourage everyone to go out and have that experience for yourself, so you have that tacit remembrance in your body of what it means to be in the oneness, to be in that field of the vibrational oneness of love and of this beautiful planet, this beautiful creation.
You have helped us get there and experience that oneness today. And that ocean that is behind you with the golden light beaming down right behind your head is another reminder of the oneness, the ocean of love, the oneness of this earth, this beautiful blue planet. Grace Galzagorry, thank you, thank you, thank you for this wonderful opportunity to be with you today and feel this deep love and wisdom from within ourselves, our bodies. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I love
And
you
thank
all.
you, everyone else, as well, for listening. Again, if you'd like to join Grace, check out her special offer. It's the link in the description box where you're watching this video or on the page that got you to this event. We love you and we hope you are enjoying the frequencies of this time. Thank you, everyone. Namaste. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to this quantum conversation, and thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart. As we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. I'm Loren Gailey, and from my sacred heart to yours, I honor your magnificent love and light. This has been a presentation of New Earth One Network, your home for New Earth living. Access information, education, and videos on living from the heart in unity consciousness. Visit newearth1.com.